Hello viewers and welcome to Rajput Jain and Associate. Today in this video we will discuss about the various aspects of TDS and the process of TDS filing. So starting with the meaning of TDS. Tax deducted at source, commonly known as TDS, is the amount of tax that is deducted at the origin of income generation. Tax is deducted by the payer and is remitted to the government by the payer on behalf of the payee. For quick and efficient collection of taxes, the income tax law has incorporated this system of deduction of tax at the point of generation of income. The provision of TDS applies to several payments such as the salary income, interest income, commission, brokerage, professional fees, royalty, contract payments, and etc. In respect of payments to which the TDS provisions apply, the payer has to deduct TDS on the payment made by him, and the same is to be deposited with the Government of India within a certain specified time. Now, having discussed about the meaning of TDS, we now come on to the advantages of TDS. As tax deduction takes place throughout the year, it ensures a continuing flow of revenue to the Government of India. Also, it is a measure to prevent tax evasion, and apart from this, it helps in increasing the tax reach and also prevents the commitment of fraud, since the tax is deducted at the time of receipt of income. Now we come to the process of TDS filing. At the first step, the applicant shall ensure that the same is in receipt of the data structure in which the eTDS or the eTCS return is to be prepared. After this, eTDS and eTCS return is required to be prepared in ASCII format with TXT as file name extension. So once the file is prepared as per the file format mentioned above, the same is required to be verified using the file validation utility, which we also call as FVU, as provided by the NSDL. If in case the file has any errors, the FVU facility will provide a report of the errors, and the applicant would be required to rectify the same and verify the file again using the FVU facility. Now, having discussed about the major portion of TDS, we now come on to certain frequently asked questions. So one of the question is that, is there any minimum amount up to which the tax is to be deducted? So in answer to this, the Income Tax Department has prescribed certain threshold limit for deduction of tax in respect of different income. If expenditure incurred or the payment made during the year is below that specified threshold limit, then there is no requirement for deduction of TDS. Next question was like, if the taxpayer does not deduct TDS, will the payee face any adverse consequences by means of action that is to be taken by the Income Tax Department? So as discussed about, it is the duty and the responsibility of the payer to deduct TDS and deposit the same with the government. So where the payer fails to deduct the amount of TDS, then the payee will not face any consequences. However, in such a case, the payee will have to discharge his tax liability. Thus, the failure of the payer to deduct TDS will not relieve the payee from payment of tax on his income. Next question was like, what are the consequences a deductor would face if he fails to deduct TDS or after deducting the same fails to deposit it with the government's account? So the answer to this is, a deductor would face certain consequences if he fails to deduct TDS or after deducting the same fails to deposit it to the credit of central government's account. So some of these consequences are, first of all, there would be a disallowance of expenditure. This means that the Income Tax Department will not allow the benefit of such expenditure, and the assessee would be required to pay tax on such expenditure by adding it to the net profits. Apart from this, there could be levy of interest and penalty in certain cases. So the last question is like, what to do if the TDS credit is not reflected in Form 26AS of the deductee. So non-reflection of TDS credit in Form 26AS can be due to several reasons, like the non-foiling of TDS filing by the payer or quoting incorrect PAN of the deductee in the TDS statement which has been already filed by the payer. So thus, in case of non-reflection of TDS, the payee has to contact the payer for ascertaining the correct reasons for non-reflection in 26AS. So this was all about TDS and its filing process. In case you have any query or want to know more about it, please contact Rajput Jain and Associate, or you can also visit our website ca.rajput.com. Thank you.